Hey friends, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings. Today I'm taking a look at a beer from BJ's Brewing in Texas. This one is called Committed. Oh, that guy kind of looks like me as a mad scientist or something. Anyway, yeah, so today's beer, as I said, is from BJ's Brewing in Temple, Texas. I got this one from my brother John, who was down in Texas for about a month, back in the spring. He brought me back a 6 beers. And I featured a couple of them so far in the show. There's actually one I just did. I actually just had it right now that I did a YouTube short for. It was called Hopstorn IPA. Very nice IPA. Very well balanced. Not too hoppy. It had a nice malty sweetness to it. It was a decent beer. There's actually quite a nice, well-balanced IPA. And this one is a double IPA. It comes in at 8.6% alcohol. It doesn't say the IBUs. If I find that out, I'll flash it on the screen somewhere. But yeah, that's about all it really tells me on here. BJ's Brewhouse in Temple, Texas. Been around since 1996. So you'll notice I'm actually wearing a hat of another Texas brewery. So John brought me back a hat from one brewery, a 6 of beers from another, and a glass from a third. So I'm going to use the one from 5x5 Brewing in Texas to sample the BJ's Committed beer from Texas. All right, so there we go. This is probably the closest I'll ever get to going to Texas, unless I go to Dallas to watch a hockey game one day, or I don't know. Also, Austin would be kind of cool to check out. But it's not like a high place on my like list of places I want to go. But who knows? I could wind up there. So far, the beer's been pretty good. Anyway, let's crack this one open. Oh, that was I didn't want a shaklook there. All right, let's pour this into a glass. Into, of course, my 5x5 brewing glass. And yes, I know I'm making a mess. This is a messy shaklook. All right, so what do we have here? Got a deep, almost like a red look to it. Almost like a red ale kind of a look. A little bit of a tan color on the head. Just a hint of that. On the nose. Oh, this is... It's like really strong floral note, and like something like a roasted something. I don't know, but it's floral more than anything else. Maybe just I don't know, like something like roasty and sweet, like a sweet malt kind of a note or something. I'm very curious to see what this is going to taste like. Cheers, friends. All right, double IPA. This one's a lot hoppier than the last one I had. Yeah, it's got a really hoppy finish. Smooth up front, but I'm not getting like a... the other one had more of a bright kind of a note to it. This isn't so much that. It's just kind of it's a thicker beer, a heavier mouthfeel to it, and there's a definite sweetness in there up front. Yeah, it's got a pretty hoppy back end to it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's it's also quite balanced, like the other one. Like it's as hoppy as it is. it's also a lot sweeter than the previous one was too. So it's kind of like, it's a lot of everything. So everything that the Hopstorm was, the Committed, it has all the same notes, but just kind of amplified. And definitely a thicker body to it, and a very smooth but thick mouthfeel. Definitely a slower sipper than the Hopstorm was. Overall, decent beer. I prefer the Hopstorm, I think, just because that one just went down really easy, and this one I think is going to take me a little longer to go through. And I'm starting to find maybe the sweetness is just a little too heavy on this one. The hoppy note at the end, I don't mind so much. Like it took me a couple sips to get used to it. I quite like it, actually. But the overpowering sweetness up front, yeah, not a huge fan of that. Whereas the Hopstorm was so very well balanced. I mean, it's still decent. It's still drinkable. If I hadn't done the other one right before this, my feelings might be different. But I can't help but compare the two. Same brewery, the IPA versus the double IPA. Kind of hard not to compare them. And a lot of time I really, really like double IPAs. But in this case, definitely the regular IPA is the better of the two. Anyways, thanks so much for dropping by the Terry Isle Basement Pub. Thank you, John, for the beers. Much appreciated. And the hat. And the glass. All right, everyone. Hope to see you all again real soon. Cheers.